Hi, I'm Emily.
And my name is Nana, and we are Miracle Properties.
And hey guys, my name's Imran from Modus Group, and in this week's episode we're going to talk you through the question that I think you asked me, guys, didn't you, about what makes a good deal. But we're going to sort of go around into more depth in terms of the numbers around deals, because I think that's really crucial, because every deal varies, every want and need of different investors vary. So we're going to try and go deep dive into numbers this week. Would that be fair to say, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, and just bring up what we think you should have in your calculations.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll jump straight into it. So let's try and answer as best we can the elephant in the room. What makes a good deal? And would you guys agree? It's actually really hard to answer that, because every client's needs, every investor's needs, certainly for the clients I've coached over the years, their needs are different, right? Your needs are different.
Yeah, and what everybody's looking for is different too. So you need to first figure out what you are looking for and have that in mind when you're doing your numbers.
Exactly. Because I guess when you meet, whenever I've met someone, the same probably with sales, you meet someone and say, okay, they're at a point in their life where actually they're planning for, let's say, retirement. And so maybe monthly income's more important to them. So they would like to look for deals that give a higher return on investment or a better cash flow. And then I meet people at the other end of the spectrum that are in their sort of mid-20s planning to go into this journey and say, look, actually, I love my career. I don't necessarily need cash flow today, but I want to get some cash flow coming in, but I also want really good capital growth. So those two people are like poles apart. So deals need to be balanced on that, I think. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely.
So first of all, you need to have the purchase price, right, in your calculation. We start with that one.
Yeah, that's a great one to start with. So purchase price is number one. So when you're buying a property, there's going to be an offer that you're going to make, or if you're buying a property through a sourcer, they're going to, I guess, put an offer in on your behalf and get an offer accepted. So that purchase price is the crucial one. And of course, if you can buy that property with some discount and some equity in from day one, that's a real bonus, because that allows you to get better return on investment in the future. Would that be a fair comment, guys?
Yeah. And for us as overseas, that most of us use sourcers, it's even more crucial to get the price down in the beginning, because we will have that fee.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're buying a property then, so you got your purchase price, and depending on then how you buy it, and I'm going to make an assumption today, we'll run the numbers based on buying with some sort of lending from UK banks. So then you need to work out your deposit, and your deposit will be number two that you need to have in your spreadsheet. And that would probably be, what percentage, guys, would you tend to work on when you're running your numbers?
We do from 30 to 35.
Okay.
It depends on its pre-corona or corona time, because it's been, at one point they didn't lend at all. But it's been going up and down between 25, 30, 35. So to be safe, we do it on 30 and 35, just to be on the safe side.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's really good. You run it cautiously. And I've seen, talking to brokers all the time, I still see products out there at 25% loan to value, 25% deposit, up to 35%. So I think that's great. And this is the key thing about spreadsheets. You can tweak the numbers right as you go through. So 25 to 35% deposit sounds like a good benchmark to work from. So that's number two. That's one of the key figures you need to think about. What is number three? So you've got your purchase price, you've got your deposit. What is number three in the process, do you think, guys?
Well, I would say stamp duty, because that's something you will need to pay, not right now, but let's have it in the spreadsheet anyway, because it will come back.
Yeah, and stamp duty has been such a hot topic right now, and we're all thanking Rishi, our Chancellor, at the moment for what he's been doing. So, so stamp duty, which is a tax that you pay when you buy a property, and that money goes towards the government. So if you're an investor, depending on the type of property you're buying, you're probably going to be paying about 3% of the purchase price as a stamp duty rate when you're buying your first deal. And you'll pay that just after you've purchased your property. So great one. And I guess that brings me on to sort of number four, which would be your legal fees. Because when you buy any property, you need someone to be your legal advisor and manage it for you, right? You can't just do it off. You can't just sign a bit of paper and just exchange those contracts. So, so a solicitor, would be fees. I mean, so in terms of what you pay a solicitor, I guess that varies on each type of deal and where you're buying it in the UK. But I tend to work on around somewhere between £1,100 to £1,200, depending on the type of purchase. If it's a more expensive purchase and we might pay more? I don't know if you guys have had various experiences at higher or lower.
Yeah, we had both.
Yeah, it's quite cheap in Wales.
It depends on what deal you're doing too. Like if you want legal advice on the lease option, it can cost.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
example.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
so
JV agreements, it can cost. So it depends on what you're asking for. But in a buy-to-let and HMO spreadsheet, as we are talking about, we will put around 1,000. Yeah. And if it's a flip deal, we will put 1,000 on the in and 1,000 on the out.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And that's important, right? So you've got your legal setup when you're doing deals, and they will vary going in and out of a deal depending on the structure of the deal. And like you said, lease options, joint venture agreements, that will always start to cost money. So we've got solicitor, we've got stamp duty. Another key one. So I guess, especially for those that are buying property and they're not physically seeing them themselves, someone needs to go and look at the property and make sure that it's structurally sound. So
project manager.
No, surveyor.
Project managers are needed, yeah, absolutely. But surveyors are going to be the one we need to go around, aren't they? Surveyors need to get in and do that. So a surveyor is definitely one of the fundamentals. And I don't know, again, guys, you know, we've spent sort of, you know, anywhere from £400-500 per survey.
Yeah, we put 500, I think, in our spreadsheet, right?
500,
Yeah, definitely. But then you come on to another good point. You mentioned the word project manager, and that was a great one to mention, because, you know, when you're doing a refurbishment, if you're going through the purchase process, you're going to have build quotes coming through, and you need someone to oversee that. So a project manager is so important on any refurb. Because I guess you guys don't fly to the UK every week to monitor a refurb, do you?
No, we don't. And we also actually can use the project manager that we had in mind to just go and look at properties that we have found online, instead of having a sourcer finding deals for us. We can find them ourselves and then send them. It's a much cheaper way of finding deals.